So this is a Sandwell Field Sports Snipe review. I did a review on the Imp not long ago, 2.2 Imp. I managed to get the opportunity to get this, so I sort of swapped this effectively for the Imp. On the basis my thinking was, as much as that was a really nice one and really good one, I could replace it in the future if I wanted to. These ones, they're not making them anymore, so this is a 0.25 version of the Imp. I'd ideally like to try and get the silencer, the Hushwell silencer, so it comes this way. I think it brings the overall length down, which would probably suit it better. I'm not sure if they do one in 0.25, which is sort of 6.35mm, so I'm not sure if I can get one. I need to look into that and see if I can, because that would be nice. Other than that, effectively it's a HW99 that's been sort of stripped and tuned and done some custom work to it by Sandwell Field Sports. It shoots really nicely. Never had a 0.25 before, so this is my first sort of dip of the toe water into it really, and it does shoot really softly, really sedately. Again, the sort of the difference between 177 and 2.2, you can always notice that difference in a Springer. Again, you can feel the difference again with this 0.25. It is really sedate. I think it's probably quite a sluggish cycle, obviously because the pellets are much bigger, much heavier, but it does actually work quite well. So far I've done some groups with it about 20 metres, and it's sort of all sort of in a tight group at 20 metres. I wouldn't say under a 5p because the actual size of the pellet is quite big, so I think you could probably get it under a 5p, but the paper tear and everything else, it's not that easy to see. It's not as accurate, I don't think, as the 2.2 was. I don't think by its very nature it's probably ever going to be. It's made more of a hunting rifle rather than a target rifle. It's still certainly accurate enough. I mean, I've been hitting spinners, sort of 10p size spinners at 20 metres, whereas I'll probably easily get in the sort of the 5p ones with the 2.2. But the main thing I've sort of noticed on this instantly is the how hard it hits, the power it sort of delivers with. So this is a standard 177 pellet and a 5p piece sort of for reference. You can sort of see this is the pellet that I've been using for these, the 0.25. So as you can see, they're massively different. They're coming in about 20.6 grains. So it's not that, I think you can probably get heavy. I think they are quite light for 0.25. I've not really done much research into it yet. But this, just for example, this is a 2.2 pellet mark on one of the little pig targets I've got. And that's sort of a nice clean mark on the 2.2. That one is the 0.25. So it's obviously quite a fair bit bigger impact mark when it hits. And it just absolutely, I mean, that's fairly heavy really for air rifle pellets, and it absolutely flew that across the garden when I hit it. It really did knock it down with some force. Normally the 2.2 ones would knock it over. I've got some smaller ones as well, which are obviously a bit lighter, and they do tend to fly when you hit them, with sort of the 2.2 pellets, even 177 to be fair. But this one normally was just kind of fell over, but it actually sort of jumped it and threw it, so you can see there's definitely some sort of difference with the additional weight. We're at about 10.5 foot-pounds, 10.3 foot-pounds so far, with these say 20 grains. So it's, in theory you probably could push the power up a bit, but it doesn't need to because it's nice and accurate and nice and soft. Again, there's a sort of a 5p piece sort of comparison to the size of the pellet strike, so it just show you how big that impact is effectively. But overall, yeah, other than that, it's a nice little 99 really. Except I would probably be tempted to try and bring this down because the length, it does seem quite long compared to the Imp I had. That's my only sort of gripe with her at the minute, but I'm going to have a look into that, see if I can do something. But yeah, I've just got a little panorama on the top, nice and budget panorama, single piece mount, works quite well. They do the trigger, Sandwell Field Sports tune the trigger, really set it up really well. Tony always does a really good job on those. Other than that, it's yeah, pretty much a 99. I'll show you the other side anyway. So as you can see, it's just this slightly older stock, and there's a couple of little marks in it and stuff like that. It's not perfect, but it is designed to be a hunting rifle, so I don't expect, unless you're going to find a brand new one, someone who's not sort of had it out in the field and used it to what it's made for, so you're going to expect sort of knocks and bumps on it. I might fit a sling to it. I think that'd probably benefit it really, just a little leather sling. But other than that, I'm quite happy with how it shoots. It shoots really nice. It's pretty accurate so far for what I've had. Say 1-all groups at 20 metres. It's probably designed up to 30 metres, I'd say. I mean, you watch some of the older videos with the likes of the Vermin on the TV ones and things like that, and they push one of these out to sort of 50, 60 metres and stuff like that. Don't know if this scope would have enough mil dots to get that, unless you'd be aiming way above your target. I think really it's predominantly aimed to sort of to about 30 metres, maybe 35, 40 at a very push. But yeah, once you get your hold over and everything else with it, you probably be deadly accurate with it. Yeah, really good. Go on and say it is designed more for hunting rather than target work, but it's nice and sedate, and it is so far just been plinking and smashing cans and sort of targets and spinners and stuff like that, and it's demolished everything of it with it so far. I'll try and do a video if I get a chance to remember to do a sort of a 177 versus this on spinners, so you can see that impact, because it really does knock the spinners around really hard when you hit them, whereas the 177 sort of spins them a lot more gentle, I suppose. When this hits it, it really does sort of fly. So you can see that impact sort of travelling through, especially at closer distances. Right, waffled on for about 5 minutes now, so I'll wrap that one up there. Okay, that's the quick overview of the Sandwell Field Sports Snipe. Sadly they don't do them anymore, but so far I'm quite happy with it. Cheers.